American consumers have the same problem our US government has. They spend more than they take in. This isn't just poor people, this is people making over $100,000. Hello, everybody. My name is Eric. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. If you could hit like, comment, share, and subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Let's take a look at this article here from Bloomberg, where it says even on $100,000 plus, more Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That is not a income problem. That is a spending problem that goes all across the board on income levels in the United States. And you have a choice. You can be a person who lives paycheck to paycheck, no matter what your paycheck is, or you can sacrifice because you're going to sacrifice one way or another. You're going to have that the stress of making the ends meet every single month, or you're going to implement some kind of discipline in your life where you have a little bit of wiggle room. So, reading from the article here, the share of Americans who say they live paycheck to paycheck climbed last year, and most of the new arrivals in this category were among the country's highest income earners, a new study shows. Some 64% of U.S. consumers, equivalent to 166 million people, are living paycheck to paycheck, and this is supposedly in the richest country in the world. Richest country in the world, right? I did a reaction video to Patrick Bet David. He was interviewing Zuby the other day, and he's from Great Britain, and he's astounded at how much credit and how much people are in debt with their credit cards and how many people live paycheck to paycheck here in the United States, and yet we still say we're the richest country. A lot of that ability has to do with having the world reserve currency, but if this is you, you need to understand the choice is being made for you. The pain, you're choosing one way. Pain is either direction. It's pain through discipline and freedom through discipline, or it's pain through another means, which is credit card companies breathing down your neck, always stressing about the next paycheck, always stressing about the next bill. That's no way to live, in my humble opinion. And in America, the good thing is so many people live paycheck to paycheck. You can really set yourself apart if you're not that person. You can really set yourself up for the future, especially going into this economic downturn. If you have high aspirations of maybe being financially free, building generational wealth, if you're one of those people that is disciplined, who can set aside money every day, you're going to be one of those people with cash who can buy real estate when it's super cheap, when everybody else is in a debt spiral themselves. All right, let's go back to the article here. Some 64% of U.S. consumers, I said that, 166 million people. Isn't that unbelievable? That's an increase of 3% or 3 percentage points from a year earlier, or 9.3 million Americans. There's something called lifestyle creep, which is as your income goes up, so do your bills. There's a great book, I've mentioned it before on this channel, called The Millionaire Next Door. And it's a study of people with $1 million net worth. And believe it or not, a lot of them make less money than you think. They're not the doctor making $250,000 a year. It's a lot of people in blue collar fields, some people in the military who save money and live on less than they make continuously, no matter how big their paycheck gets. And a lot of people who make that 250, their bills match it. And so if they lose their job, they're SOL within a month. So out of that group of 9.3 million, some 8 million were people earning more than 100,000 a year. That problem is pretty easy to diagnose for me. That's a spending problem. More than half of income cohorts said they lived paycheck to paycheck in December, up 9 percentage points from a year earlier. This is people not adjusting their lifestyle to inflation. And incidentally enough, this is kind of interesting. Why haven't we seen that epic crash that a lot of people are expecting? It could be because people are starting to, they go through this credit cycle where their income or prices go up, their income does not. They still keep the same lifestyle that they fund on credit cards. And within a year or so, those credit cards stop giving them loans and they become too expensive. And then consumerism essentially dies off very quickly. And and that's how these things can happen. Um, Prospects for consumer spendings are cloudy, said Lydia Bulcia, senior economist at Parthenon. Elevated prices, eroded personal savings, and increased reliance on credit points to weaken consumer spending this winter, she said. These dynamics will be exacerbated by negative wealth effect from lower stock prices and declining home values. If you don't know what the wealth effect is, it's people who spend more money because they think they have more money in the bank, whether that be through their home price or their stocks, 401k going up. Um, so, Lending Club did a survey, and they said the label of being paycheck to paycheck doesn't necessarily mean people are having trouble staying current on their bills, but the survey suggests a growing number are. It found that 24% of respondents had issues paying their bills in December. Among those earning more than $100,000 and living paycheck to paycheck, the share rose 16% from 11% a year earlier. I remember when I was young, the idea of making $100,000 meant you're rich, right? And obviously, inflation, $100,000 doesn't go nearly as far, especially in states like California. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you make, you have a choice. There's three levers: spending, income, and investing. The easiest one to affect is your spending. How do I make my life cheaper, as cheap as possible, and continually do so? Obviously, you can enjoy life, but to me, the stress of living paycheck to paycheck is far worse than the stress of disciplining myself to save. It is far worse, especially with kids. Let me know if you guys feel the same way in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.